Brighton 2, Manchester United 1. It's getting boring losing to Brighton all the time now, isn't it? It's just boring. Two things I want to talk about before we get into the player ratings. The first is the offside goal, Garnacho's goal, because I'm seeing a lot of United fans saying it should have stood. In what world was that a goal? He was offside. It was obvious. I don't even know why they went to VAR. It was so obvious. You could even hear it. I heard it straight away. You could hear it clearly come off Xerxes. And some fans are saying, well, he wasn't really interfering or he couldn't help it. Well, people score own goals all the time and they can't help it. Does that mean own goals shouldn't count? It was offside. We need to get over it. It was very unlucky, by the way. The second thing is, Ten Hag has had an absolute... Someone's staring at me in the house across the... You're right! That's embarrassing. I'm going to have to start shutting the curtains. Anyway, Ten Hag had an absolute mare. He just had a mare. And I said in my preview video, I'm convinced he will start the same team. And I thought it was a mistake. And people will say, you can't change a winning team. You really can change a winning team. Now, yeah, don't make 7 or 8 changes, but 1 or 2 changes to a winning team, absolutely. I don't understand why Garnacho isn't starting. Like, what the fuck? He started virtually every game last season. He's a baller. He makes things happen every game, and he's not starting. And it's not as if the wingers are absolutely ripping it up that are playing. I just don't get it. I do not get it. And De Ligt. Why is De Ligt not starting? Like, Harry Maguire, we've tried replacing Harry Maguire for the last 4 years. He makes mistake after mistake. Yeah, he's got a good game in him. He's been all right recently, but we know he's got mistakes in him. We bought Martinez to replace him. We bought Yoro and De Ligt to replace him. I don't understand why he's still starting games. I really don't. And taking Bruno Fernandes off for Scott McTominay, again, what the fuck? What is that all about? Bruno Fernandes is the only player that ever makes anything happen. He's our only creative player. If anything's going to happen, it's because of Bruno Fernandes. Now, granted, bring McTominay on, he might get a scruffy goal, but the only player who's going to set him up is Bruno Fernandes. So if you take Bruno Fernandes off, McTominay's never going to score anyway because there's no one to create McTominay a chance. Baffling. I just don't get it. He never takes Bruno Fernandes off. Why are you taking him off now when we need a goal? If you're going to take Bruno Fernandes off, take him off when we're leading, not when we need a goal. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's get into the player ratings. Andre Onana, 6. I thought his distribution was good. He didn't really make any mistakes. The problem for Onana is he's never going to be De Gea. And when De Gea just pulls rabbits out bags and makes... It's not bags, is it? It's hats. God, I've done my send there, haven't I? What a wally. Onana only really saves shots that he should save. Even when he's doing nothing wrong, he's never pulling off world-class saves. He's never making match-winning saves. If someone puts a decent finish past him, it's always going in. He never pulls off the spectacular save like De Gea did. I'm not saying he was at fault for either goal. He really wasn't. But sometimes you just want your goalkeeper to pull it out the bag. And Onana's never going to do that. But he was fairly solid, and we can't blame him for the goals. Dalot, mixed game for Dalot. I thought he played pretty well. He put a superb cross in for Ahmad. I mean, what a cross that was with his weaker foot. Ahmad's got to score that. And then it might have been a completely different game. Although, where was Dalot for the goal? Nowhere to be seen. But this is the problem with having no fit left-backs, isn't it? Dalot is a right-back. He's a right-footed right-back playing at left-back. It's not his natural position. He's playing quite well, but he is going to go out of position at times because he's not used to playing at left-back. So you can't really blame him, to be honest. Sign a left-back or... Well, yeah, just sign a left-back. There's no really or, is there? Mazware, 7. I thought he played very, very well. He got the assist for the goal. And the funny thing with Mazware is he looks like the only United player who's played there for years. It's his second game, and he looks like he's played there for years. Doesn't make mistakes, defends well, very, very good on the ball. Yeah, I was impressed with him. I gave Mazware man of the match. It's the best of a bad bunch, really, but he's been pretty solid, to be fair. Harry Maguire. He has to get a 5. He's cost us the first goal. And he's not solely to blame for the first goal, but realistically, he shouldn't be in the team, should he? He shouldn't be playing, but he has cost us the first goal. He's got to deal with that. So I thought both centre-halves were terrible today, and I thought both centre-halves cost us the game. So they're both getting 5, which brings me on to Lisandro Martinez, who is also getting a 5, because although Maguire was primary to blame for the first goal, Martinez was out of position as well. He should have been there to clear that after it comes back in. And in the second goal, I don't know what Martinez is doing. He's just swanned off chasing the ball around the box like a keen young winger who wants to impress the manager. I don't know what he's doing. He's massively out of position for both goals. Martinez had a shocker today, and I love Martinez, and he's been great for us, but that doesn't mean we can't criticise him. No one wants to say a bad word about him. You can't criticise Martinez. Well, actually, I can, because he was shit today, so he's getting a 5. Who's next? We've done Dello. Casemiro, 5 for Casemiro. One game is amazing, the next game is a liability. I think that's just where he's at. He needs replacing. He'll have 25 decent games and he'll have 25 shit games. At one point, he looks like he runs on a treadmill. Like, you can see his arms and legs and his body parts are moving, but he's just not going anywhere. He runs on a treadmill. He's getting slower by the game. I thought he was terrible today, but I thought he was good against Fulham. He'll probably be good against Liverpool and then crap in the game after. That's just what we're getting with him at the minute. Mainu, I'll give a 6. I don't think he's helped out by who he's playing in midfield with. I thought he was pretty quiet. He looks pretty tired. A few really nice touches, really nice dribbles, did a good few tackles. He's still very, very young, so I don't want to be harsh on him, but it weren't his best game by any stretch. Marcus Rashford, 5. I can't give him any higher. I thought he was poor. I thought he was really, really poor. He's not a goal threat. He's not making things happen. He's playing a bit like a Sunday League footballer where everything's a bit route one and a bit basic. And he's got no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. He didn't go to the Euros. He had a full rest and a full holiday. He's had a full pre-season. He's one of the only players that has had a full pre-season. He should be the fittest. He should be the sharpest. And he looks terrible. And he's playing against a lot of players in other teams that haven't had full pre-seasons. So if he's not going to look sharp now, when is he going to look sharp? Really poor game. I don't understand why he's starting ahead of Garnacho. I really don't. Ahmad, I'll give a 6. Good goal, takes a deflection, but it should be his goal. It was definitely on target. But if he didn't score the goal, I'd have been giving him a 5 because I don't think he played that well. He missed a sitter early on in the game, which if that goes in, it could be a completely different game. He did a terrible pass when Rashford was clean for one goal. And I didn't think he was that good. And again, he should not be starting ahead of Garnacho. Garnacho is our best winger, but somehow he's found himself third choice. And I really don't understand it. Bruno Fernandes, a 6. Pretty quiet game, although he did create the Garnacho offside goal. So again, you leave him on the pitch, he will create something. I'm convinced if Fernandes would have played the last 10, 15 minutes, he would have created something. And we'd have either won the game or drawn the game. I don't understand why we've took him off. You just don't take Bruno Fernandes when you're losing a game. It will baffle me forever, that. It really will. Mason Mount, 6. I actually thought Mason Mount was pretty good. And interestingly, especially with the press, his work rate and his pressing, and we look a lot more solid with Mount in the team. And we have far more control when Mount's in the team. Interestingly, in both games against Fulham and Brighton, he's gone off early. We've lost a lot of control when Mason Mount's gone off in both games. So I don't know if he was injured or if it was tactical, but I thought he did quite well, and I would like to see him play a full 90 minutes at some point. Garnacho, I'll give a 6. He basically scored a goal, didn't he? He's so unlucky. Comes on, makes things happen. He's just another player like Bruno Fernandes who makes things happen. He always makes things happen. Even when he's not having a good game, he will make something happen. Like the goal today, I don't think he was great, but he pretty much scores a goal. It's not his fault that it got chalked off for offside. He should be starting. It's criminal that he's not starting. And I'd like an explanation as to why he's not starting, please. Yeah, do that. De Ligt should have started, didn't get long enough, can't give him a rating. McTominay didn't get long enough, can't give him a rating. He's probably going to go to Napoli, so in a couple of weeks it won't really be our problem. If we have to sell Scott McTominay to get Ugarte in, for me it's a no-brainer. Ugarte would offer this team 10 times more than McTominay has ever offered. So it's probably going to happen, innit? Let me know. Player ratings, man of the match. What went wrong? See you next